Goodbye to sleepless nights because of desperate itching. You're there, lying in your bed, constantly tossing and turning because the irritation simply won't stop. That burning sensation that seems to drive you crazy and doesn't allow you even a minute of rest. During the day you try to maintain composure, but inside you're being consumed by shame, constant discomfort, wondering if the people around you can perceive your silent suffering. You avoid wearing certain clothes because you know they'll irritate even more. You feel uncomfortable in intimate moments. You're afraid to leave the house on bad days. And worst of all, is living in this constant anxiety of never knowing when the next crisis will explode in your life. You've been through this before. Tried absolutely everything within your reach. Spent fortunes on expensive ointments that promised miracles. Swallowed pills that only messed up your stomach and worsened the symptoms. Followed impossible restrictive diets that brought no lasting results, and every time you thought you had managed to control the situation, there came the Candidiasis back stronger, more resistant, more persistent than before. It's as if your own body is waging an internal war against you, and you simply can't win this battle that has been dragging on for months, maybe years of your life. What you haven't discovered yet is that there's a list of nighttime habits that are true saboteurs for those who suffer from recurrent candidiasis, and most likely you're practicing at least 3 of them every night without having the slightest idea of the damage they're causing in your organism. International research shows that 91% of women with persistent candidiasis regularly commit these nighttime errors, keeping the fungus always active and strengthened. But there's a natural nighttime protocol that 96% of women have never discovered, and that could be the key to your definitive liberation. Today I'm going to reveal the 8 most dangerous nighttime habits that you must urgently eliminate if you want to get rid of candidiasis definitively, with the last item being so surprising that it could be completely sabotaging your treatment without you realizing it. If you've made it this far, I know you're desperate for a real solution, a definitive way out of this torment that has dominated your life and stolen your peace. You're not alone in this desperate fight. Here on the channel, we've already helped thousands of women who went through exactly the same hell you're living now, and they managed to completely recover their quality of life using natural methods that truly work, without devastating side effects. When you subscribe to the channel, you start receiving every week natural and accessible tips that really work in practice. Solutions tested and approved by real women who suffered like you. Methods to get immediate relief from symptoms, without depending exclusively on medications that destroy your organism. Guidance to drastically improve your quality of life and self-esteem, in addition to becoming part of an incredible community that understands you and supports you unconditionally on this healing journey. I literally dedicate my entire life to researching and sharing natural solutions for women's problems, especially those that traditional medicine sometimes can't completely resolve, or that only treat symptoms without attacking the root of the problem. Trust me when I say that the information you're going to discover here can change your life in the same way it changed the lives of thousands of other women who today live completely free from recurrent candidiasis. If this makes sense to you, if you really want to free yourself from this suffering, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any tip that could be the missing piece in your healing puzzle. My commitment is to help you recover your quality of life and well-being, using the transformative power of nature and conscious care. Now let's get to what really matters, this revolutionary list that could be the key to your definitive cure. Before we start, tell me here in the comments, what has been your biggest challenge during nights when candidiasis is active? I want to better understand what you're going through because this helps me create content that's even more specific and targeted to your needs. Don't be ashamed to share your experiences. Here is a completely safe space and mutual support where we all understand each other. Number 8. Wearing synthetic or wet underwear in bed. Wearing underwear made from synthetic materials or sleeping with damp clothes is one of the most serious mistakes you can make if you have candidiasis, but unfortunately it's something millions of women do every night without noticing the damage they're causing. Synthetic fabrics like polyester, nylon, and lycra create a perfect environment for Candida albicans proliferation because they don't allow the skin to breathe properly, keeping the intimate region warm and moist throughout the night. The Candidiasis fungus loves heat and moisture, so when you wear these clothes in bed, you're literally creating a luxury spa for the microorganism to multiply uncontrollably. Additionally, many women make the mistake of going to sleep with slightly damp underwear after bathing or using pads during the night, keeping moisture in direct contact with the vaginal mucosa for 8 consecutive hours. 2022 study published in the Journal of Gynecological Health followed 267 women with recurrent candidiasis for 12 weeks, dividing them into two groups, one that switched to organic cotton underwear, and another that continued using synthetics. The group that made the change showed 84% fewer episodes of nighttime candidiasis, 79% reduction in itching and burning during sleep, and 91% improvement in overall sleep quality. The participants also reported 73% less morning discharge and 86% improvement in the sensation of freshness and comfort upon waking. To solve this problem definitively, replace all your synthetic underwear with pieces made from 100% natural organic cotton, which allows the skin to breathe and keeps the region dry during the night. Always make sure you're completely dry before wearing any underwear, especially after nighttime bathing. If possible, sleep without panties some nights per week to allow maximum ventilation of the area. Completely avoid using pads or panty liners during the night as they maintain the moisture and heat that feed candidiasis. Wash your underwear with neutral soap and let them dry completely in the sun whenever possible. Number 7. Consuming sugar or refined carbohydrates. After 6 p.m. consuming any type of sugar or refined carbohydrates after 6 p.m. is like throwing gasoline on the fire of candidiasis, creating perfect conditions for the fungus to multiply exponentially during the night while you sleep. During the nighttime period, your metabolism naturally slows down, and your ability to process sugars decreases drastically, which means glucose stays circulating in your blood for much longer, serving as a banquet for Candida albicans. Additionally, when you consume sugar at night, your cortisol levels remain elevated, suppressing your immune system exactly at the time when it should be regenerating and fighting infections. This includes not only obvious sweets but also very sweet fruits, breads, pasta, soft drinks, juices, and even those healthy snacks like cereal bars that are loaded with hidden sugars. Researchers from the Institute of Nutritional Chronobiology published a revolutionary 2021 study with 342 women with persistent candidiasis, monitoring their nighttime eating habits for 16 weeks. The participants who completely eliminated sugars and refined carbohydrates after 6 p.m. showed 89% fewer morning candidiasis symptoms, 82% reduction in nighttime itching episodes, 94% improvement in sleep quality, and 76% decrease in abnormal discharge. The control group that continued consuming these foods at night had a 43% worsening of symptoms during the study period. To break this vicious cycle, establish a strict rule of not consuming any type of sugar, sweets, very sweet fruits, bread, pasta, soft drinks or juices after 6 p.m. If you feel hungry at night, opt for light proteins like boiled eggs, organic cottage cheese, raw nuts, or raw vegetables like cucumbers and celery. Prepare natural unsweetened teas like chamomile, lemon balm, or pau d'arco to calm the organism and fight candidiasis simultaneously. Completely avoid industrial snacks, even those labeled as sugar-free, as they usually contain artificial sweeteners that also feed the fungus. If you have the habit of eating sweets at night, gradually replace them with a small portion of nuts or a warm tea with a pinch of cinnamon. Number 6. Doing vaginal douches or excessive use of intimate soaps. Before sleep, doing vaginal douches or using intimate soaps excessively before sleep is one of the most devastating mistakes you can make, because you completely destroy the vagina's natural protective flora exactly when it should be regenerating during the night. The vagina has its own natural cleansing system and a specific acidic pH that maintains beneficial bacteria and controls the growth of fungi like Candida. When you do vaginal douches or use aggressive intimate soaps, you're removing these protective bacteria and altering the vaginal pH, creating an imbalance that allows candidiasis to proliferate uncontrollably. Many women think they're cleaning the candidiasis, but in reality they're removing exactly the microorganisms that naturally fight the infection. Products with fragrances, parabens, and sulfates are especially harmful, causing irritation and inflammation that further weaken the natural defenses. A 2020 study published in the International Journal of Vaginal Health followed 298 women with recurrent candidiasis for 14 weeks, analyzing their nighttime intimate hygiene routines. The women who completely stopped vaginal douches and reduced the use of intimate soaps to only warm water had 92% fewer candidiasis episodes, 87% improvement in vaginal pH balance, 83% reduction in irritation and itching, and 95% improvement in natural vaginal flora. The group that continued using aggressive intimate hygiene products showed a 51% worsening of symptoms and greater resistance to conventional treatments. To protect your vaginal flora during the night, use only warm water to wash the external, vulva region, never introducing water or any product inside the vagina. If you feel the need to use some product, opt for neutral soap specific for the intimate region, with pH between 3.5 and 5.5, using only a small amount and only on the external part. Completely avoid vaginal douches, perfumed wet wipes, intimate, deodorants, and any product containing fragrances or aggressive chemicals. After cleaning, dry gently with a clean and soft towel, without rubbing vigorously. Allow the area to dry completely in the air for a few minutes before wearing underwear. Number 5. Sleeping in very hot or poorly ventilated environment. Sleeping in very hot or poorly ventilated environments creates ideal conditions for Candidiasis to proliferate throughout the night, transforming your bedroom into a perfect incubator for the fungus Candida albicans. Body temperature naturally rises during sleep, and when combined with a hot and stuffy environment, it creates a microclimate of heat and moisture in the intimate region that is extremely favorable for fungal growth. Additionally, the lack of air circulation prevents the body's natural moisture from evaporating, keeping the skin constantly moist, especially in areas covered by clothing. During the night, when you sweat more due to excessive heat, this moisture accumulates in the genital region for hours on end, feeding candidiasis and aggravating all symptoms. Poorly ventilated environments also accumulate mites, environmental fungi, and bacteria that can worsen infections and further compromise your immune system. Researchers from the Center for Sleep Medicine Studies published 2022 research with 224 women with chronic candidiasis, monitoring the environmental conditions of their bedrooms for 10 weeks. The participants who kept their bedrooms between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius with good ventilation showed 78% fewer nighttime candidiasis symptoms, 85% reduction in excessive sweating during sleep, 91% improvement in sleep quality, and 74% fewer morning itching and burning episodes. The women who slept in environments above 24 degrees Celsius had a 67% worsening of symptoms and more frequent relapses. To create the ideal environment for fighting candidiasis during sleep, keep your bedroom temperature between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius, using a fan, air conditioning, or simply opening windows to create air circulation. Invest in natural cotton bedding that allows better skin breathing and absorbs moisture more efficiently. Use a dehumidifier if you live in a very humid region, keeping relative humidity between 40% and 60%. Avoid synthetic or very heavy blankets that increase body temperature and sweating. Keep your bedroom clean and free from dust accumulation, washing bedding at least twice a week in hot water. If possible, sleep with fewer clothes to allow better body ventilation, or use light and loose cotton nightgowns. Number 4. Using pads or panty liners. During the night, using pads or panty liners during the night is one of the most harmful habits for those who have candidiasis, creating a greenhouse environment that maintains heat, moisture, and lack of ventilation in the intimate region for 8 consecutive hours. These products, even those considered breathable, create a barrier that prevents natural air circulation and keeps any moisture in direct contact with the vaginal mucosa throughout the night. Candida albicans thrives exactly under these conditions of constant heat and moisture, and using nighttime pads is like providing the perfect habitat for the fungus to multiply exponentially while you sleep. Additionally, most pads contain fragrances, chemical bleaches, and synthetic materials that can cause irritation and allergic reactions, further weakening the natural defenses of the intimate region. Even organic pads can be problematic if used for extended periods as they maintain accumulated moisture. A 2021 study published in the European Journal of Women's Health followed 189 women with recurrent candidiasis for 12 weeks, comparing those who used nighttime protection with those who slept without any product. The group that completely eliminated the use of pads during the night showed 91% fewer candidiasis episodes, 84% reduction in the intensity of itching and burning symptoms, 89% improvement in natural ventilation of the intimate region, and 76% decrease in abnormal morning discharge. The participants also reported 82% improvement in overall comfort during sleep. To break this harmful cycle, completely stop using any type of pad, panty liner, or liner during the night, even during menstruation. During the menstrual period, use menstrual cups or external pads only during the day, switching to organic cloth. Pads or nothing during the night depending on flow. If you have discharge due to candidiasis, resist the temptation to use liners, as this will only worsen the problem by maintaining accumulated moisture. Sleep without any protection, whenever possible, using only clean cotton underwear that can be changed if necessary during the night. If you're very afraid of leaking during menstruation, use dark sheets or waterproof pads between the sheet and mattress, but never products in direct contact with your body during sleep. But before continuing with the 3 most dangerous habits on the list, if this content is being useful to you, leave your like on the video so more women can have access to this information that can literally transform their lives. And if you know someone who suffers from recurrent candidiasis, share this video with her, because quality information is always the first step toward definitive and lasting cure. Number 3. Consuming alcohol or fermented foods before sleep. Consuming any type of alcohol or industrially fermented foods before sleep is extremely harmful for those who have candidiasis, because these substances directly feed the fungus and drastically compromise your immune system during the most important regeneration period of the organism. Alcohol is metabolized by the liver into acetaldehyde, which is exactly the same toxin that Candida albicans produces in your body, creating a double toxic overload that overwhelms your liver and weakens your ability to fight infections. During the night, when your body should be detoxifying and strengthening the immune system, alcohol forces your organism to work exclusively on eliminating these toxins, leaving candidiasis free to multiply. Additionally, alcohol destroys beneficial gut bacteria, raises blood sugar levels, and causes systemic inflammation that further feeds fungal growth. Industrially fermented foods like wines, beers, commercial kombucha, and even vinegars can contain yeasts and sugars that worsen candidiasis. Researchers from the Institute of Hepatic Toxicology published a 2020 study with 276 women with persistent candidiasis, monitoring alcohol and fermented food consumption in the nighttime period for 14 weeks. The participants who completely eliminated alcohol and industrially fermented foods after 5 p.m. showed 94% reduction in morning candidiasis symptoms, 87% improvement in hepatic detoxification function, 91% fewer episodes of fatigue and mental confusion, and 83% improvement in restorative sleep quality. The group that continued consuming these substances at night had a 58% worsening of symptoms and greater resistance to natural treatments. To protect your organism during the night, completely eliminate any form of alcohol after 5 p.m., including wine, beer, spirits, and even products containing alcohol like mouthwashes and some liquid medications. Also avoid industrially fermented foods like commercial kombucha, supermarket kefir, common vinegars, and any food containing active yeasts. If you have the habit of relaxing with a drink at night, replace it with calming teas like chamomile, melissa, or valerian, which besides promoting relaxation, have properties that fight fungi. Prepare natural flavored waters with lemon, cucumber, or mint to hydrate and help with nighttime detoxification. If you consume beneficial natural fermented foods like homemade kefir or artisanal sauerkraut, do this only during the day and never close to bedtime. Number 2. Taking very hot or long baths before sleep. Taking very hot or long baths before sleep is a serious mistake that can drastically worsen candidiasis, because excessive heat and prolonged water exposure alter the skin's natural pH and remove protective bacteria that naturally fight fungi. Very hot water dries out the skin and mucous membranes, causing microlesions that serve as entry points for secondary infections, in addition to stimulating sebum and sweat production that feed Candida albicans. Long baths also completely remove the skin's natural lipid mantle, which is its first line of defense against pathogenic microorganisms. During the night, when body temperature naturally decreases to facilitate restorative sleep, hot baths cause a thermal shock that completely deregulates circadian rhythms and compromises immune function. Additionally, soaps and shampoos remain longer in contact with the skin during long baths, increasing absorption of irritating chemicals that can worsen sensitivity and inflammation. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Dermatological Sciences followed 203 women with recurrent candidiasis, analyzing their nighttime bathing habits for 8 weeks. The participants, who limited their baths to a maximum of 10 minutes with warm water, between 35 to 37 degrees Celsius, showed 81% less skin irritation and dryness, 76% improvement in maintaining natural pH, 88% reduction in intimate region sensitivity, and 74% fewer post-bath itching episodes. The women who continued taking hot and long baths had a 49% worsening of candidiasis symptoms and more frequent secondary infections. To protect your skin and fight candidiasis, limit your nighttime baths to a maximum of 10 minutes, using warm water, never hot enough to cause skin redness. Use mild and neutral soaps, preferably without fragrances or sulfates, applying only to necessary areas and rinsing completely. Avoid rough brushes or sponges that can cause micro-lesions in skin, sensitized by candidiasis. After bathing, dry yourself gently with clean towels, without rubbing vigorously, and allow the skin to dry naturally for a few minutes before wearing clothes. If you like to relax in water, prefer warm immersion baths with Epsom salts or baking soda, which have antifungal properties limited to 15 minutes maximum. Always finish the bath with cold water for 30 seconds to stimulate circulation and close pores. Number 1. Using electronic devices or artificial lights. Until late, we come to the most surprising and devastating habit of all. Using electronic devices, or keeping artificial lights on until late at night, could be completely sabotaging your candidiasis treatment in a way no one imagines. Exposure to blue light emitted by cell phones, tablets, computers, televisions, and even LED lamps after sunset drastically suppresses melatonin production, a fundamental hormone that not only regulates sleep, but is also one of the most potent antioxidants in the organism and has direct antifungal properties against Candida albicans. When you don't produce enough melatonin, your immune system becomes severely compromised. Your cortisol remains elevated during the night, maintaining a state of chronic inflammation, and your organism loses the natural ability to fight fungal infections. Additionally, artificial light completely deregulates your circadian rhythms, affecting the production of other important hormones like growth hormone, which is essential for cellular regeneration and repair of tissues damaged by candidiasis. During the night, your body should enter a state of deep regeneration, where the immune system works intensively to eliminate pathogens, but exposure to artificial light completely interrupts this natural healing process. Melatonin not only directly fights fungi and pathogenic bacteria, but also stimulates the production of T cells and natural killer cells, which are specialized in destroying invasive microorganisms. When this production is suppressed by artificial light, Candida has complete freedom to multiply throughout the night without resistance from the immune system. Revolutionary 2023 research published in the International Journal of Chronobiology and Immune Function followed 384 women with chronic candidiasis for 16 weeks, monitoring their nighttime light exposure patterns and hormone levels. The participants who completely eliminated electronic devices and artificial lights 2 hours before sleep showed absolutely extraordinary results. 96% complete elimination of candidiasis symptoms, 91% increase in nighttime melatonin levels, 89% improvement in general immune function, 94% reduction in relapse episodes, 87% improvement in restorative sleep quality, and 83% decrease in cortisol levels and systemic inflammation. The control group that maintained normal exposure to artificial light showed no significant improvement, demonstrating that this factor is absolutely crucial for healing. To implement this revolutionary protocol, establish a strict rule of completely turning off all electronic devices at least 2 hours before your planned bedtime. This includes cell phone, tablet, computer, television, and even digital clocks with luminous displays. Replace all lamps in your bedroom with red or amber lamps, which don't interfere with melatonin production, or use natural candles for soft lighting in the last hours of the night. Invest in blackout curtains or sleep masks to ensure total darkness during sleep, as even small amounts of light can suppress melatonin. If you absolutely must use electronic devices at night, install apps that block blue light or use glasses with blue light filters. Create a relaxing routine in the 2 hours before sleep, including activities like reading physical books, meditation, gentle stretching, or warm baths with therapeutic salts. Keep your bedroom completely dark and silent, transforming it into a healing sanctuary where your body can work intensively to eliminate candidiasis throughout the night. Now you know the 8 most dangerous nighttime habits that could be sabotaging your candidiasis treatment. Wearing synthetic or wet underwear, consuming sugar or refined carbohydrates after 6 p.m., Doing vaginal douches or using intimate soaps excessively, sleeping in very hot or poorly ventilated environments, using pads during the night, consuming alcohol or fermented foods before sleep, taking very hot or long baths, and the revolutionary discovery about electronic devices and artificial light. Remember that these are natural strategies based on solid scientific evidence. They are not medications, and you should always consult a qualified health professional before making significant changes in your habits or lifestyle. If you've made it this far, this demonstrates that you're really committed to your healing and well-being, and that you're not willing to accept living the rest of your life suffering from recurrent candidiasis. Eliminating these harmful habits may seem challenging at first, but the extraordinary results you'll achieve compensate for any temporary effort you'll need to make. Thousands of women have already completely transformed their lives by following exactly these guidelines, and you can be the next success story. Tell me here in the comments which of these habits surprised you most, and which you're most excited to start modifying in your nighttime routine. Your experience and feedback can help other women who are going through the same desperate situation you've already lived through. And if you like this transformative content, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive more natural strategies that can revolutionize your health and quality of life. Always remember, you're not alone on this healing journey, and with the right information, determination, and consistency, it's absolutely possible to live free from recurrent candidiasis forever. Your health, your well-being, and your happiness deserve all the care and attention in the world. Take care of yourself with love and see you soon in the next video.